Morning. This is a bit of an update on the garden and whatever else is going on around here. Some of the seeds that we sowed a couple of weeks ago have all germinated, so I'll show you those. And of course this compost bay here, it's reducing, yeah, but we're using it. That's what it's for. So these are the alders, and you could just about see that they're starting to get their first leaves, just starting. So when they've got a couple of leaves, I will then think about transplanting them out of this seed tray. And next door to it is a seed tray of Scots pine. I'll just move things. So here we go. Hopefully, there you go, see? That's just the seed casing and the seedling emerging. Now over here, if I can find it, yeah, there's another one. There was quite a few seeds put in here, so hopefully we shall get plenty, which will be great. And again, you know, when they get to a reasonable size, I shall transplant them. So over there are the lettuce that I planted out a few weeks ago, that were sown 6 weeks ago, then put in little pots and then planted out. But here are some lettuces, same sort of scenario, but they were put here October time, and there's just the last few, and look, they're lovely hearted lettuces, brilliant. And they've stayed in this glass house over winter. And just along there, and we'll go and look closer, there's some purple sprouting and kale. And this is the second or third picking of this purple sprouting. You pick the sprouting with that stem, because that stem is really quite delightful. Nice and soft, you don't want it to go woody. And at the back there's some kale, same sort of thing, but you take the leaves as well. Brilliant. Then turning round, and Woody Jim was saying about he's got his potatoes in. Let's look at the ones we've got going. And there we go. They're coming up through, and we dig a trench and put them in the bottom, obviously, and as they grow on we earth it up. And because it's in the glass house, it's nice fibrous loose soil anyway, so you just got to keep watering them. And the leek plants, since you've last seen them, they'll have grown on a bit. Get them to about sort of 10 inches high, and then I'll plant them out. I've been preparing the plot for where these are going to go. Let's go and have a look. So there's the remnants of the leeks from last year. That's where they were. And just down here I tried an experiment and sowed some leeks late on, and then transplanted them out into the glass house. And then as I was working the glass house earlier on, I moved them out here. We'll see. I suspect they'll go to seed very quickly, but that's just, well, nothing wrong with an experiment. We've got shaky cam. I better get the tripod working. So this is the plot next door to the plot that you saw me digging last time, and it's nearly completed. It's got a lot of fibre and manure in it. and before I plant the leeks out, which will be a good month, then I shall just turn this over again. Just got a bit more compost there which wants digging in, and we've had to make up these panels here. You can't really see that properly. Let's move this one out of the way. There we go, and they just push in and lift out, but deer problems. So we're starting to fence. We had bits of old forestry chicken wire rabbit fencing along here, and I just thought, and it made it difficult to access, so I've just quickly made up these panels, and that's just bits of round wood cut down the middle on the table saw and screwed together. And just a bit further along, just through there, is the garlic. You can see that's growing away well, and at the end of that there's what remains of the strawberry patch, so we'll just see what happens. Normally they're quite good. And then we got the broad beans out under this temporary sort of protection. The broad beans were getting quite tall, time for them to come out, but we got a few quite cold evenings, so we just got that on there, and to keep the pigeons off, because the broad beans are quite delicate at this point and the pigeons would love them. Yeah, you see what I mean? They really are quite nice plants, just need that bit of protection. Now then, the last thing we sowed in that previous video was some carrots and tomatoes, so let's go and have a look at those. So this tray of tubes, and we've got an echo now, we're in the conservatory. This one was in the conservatory all the time. Okay, and you can see how they really cracked on, and most of the seeds have germinated. And next door to it is the one that was in the glass house, and because it wasn't as warm, it's just starting. I had a sheet of glass over this, but temperature, there you go. Right, let's have a look at the tomatoes. Okay, these are the Roma, and you can see how strong the plants are. They've germinated quite well. And these ones here are the Ailsa Craig. You can just see them starting, so they obviously germinate slower, not quite so vigorous. That one there doesn't look that healthy, but no doubt it will crack on. As I say, I only want sort of 3 or 4 of each plant. But you can see how those Romas, you know, they don't hang about. And they're a big plum tomato and a very strong plant. And we grow them in huge tubs now, because growing them in the soil in a glass house, you can end up with tomato sickness, get root rot and all sorts of things, and build up a virus. So I take a barrel load of compost from the big compost heap the other side of the field, and then fill one of these tubs, plant one plant in there. Yeah, it's got plenty of soil, so it retains the moisture, and they really crack on. Now, many people who've been on courses and whatnot and read my books will have seen photos of these woodsheds. That bay there that you can just see the end of, that's been filled up this year, This one here is the one I'm filling up at the moment, and that one there is the remaining bay that we're using up. So that was filled up May time last year. So we're just cracking on with this, we're getting prepared. So there you go, just a bit of an update, just to let you know how we're getting on. I mean, it just follows on from videos a couple of, well, at least a month ago. Anyway, hopefully everybody's staying calm about this recent catastrophe, or ongoing catastrophe. Many people had predicted this, with the quicker you move about, the quicker the diseases move about. And if you're locked in an aluminium tube with recycled air, then most people are very familiar with the fact that you go and travel in such things and you come out the other end with a cold. Well, and then you transmit that cold to members of the family, and then it gets to the neighbours and everything. Well, it's that and much worse. So I'll refer you to the end of my last video about resilience and self-reliance and low impact living. Anyway, you can just, as I say, throw a thought bomb and see if it happens in the right place. Hopefully you've enjoyed this bit of an update. There's loads more to follow. Catch up with you soon.